episode 17, and stand by Nicoletta, please. Episode 17, and Nicoletta, go. Hola, welcome back, ¿cómo estás? Yes, welcome back to my shed for JigJaw. So, first of all, you can see this is here. That's what we're doing. And this. So, I've moved the camera the other side. I'm going to splash it on. It's just that now it's even a lot more leaning. A lot more leaning and a lot more height. Because the whole... I know, Zoe. I know I keep saying I can't believe how big it is, but actually I can't. Okay. Right. Here we go. Now, as you see, the edges are done. And there are a few little straggly bits that I got out of the casserole dish. But, now, I know that some people, control freaks, are freaking out because of my next plan, which I'm making up as we go. Because it's so enormous, I was going to do like little handfuls and just find the pieces, but I'm going to do this. Empty. Casserole dish is empty. I can now use it for casseroles. I've got nowhere to put it in this bloody place. Right, that's on a paste. I'll put that on. What is that? Oh, some wall tile adhesive. Right, back to this. Now, fiancée Zoe, Claire, I can appreciate that this is now absolutely everything has made you go goosey. And even Terry, who splits his time between Seattle and London, his lovely wife, has said that she finds my voice very calming, but not my jigsawing. So I suspect you're going to have to look away as well. Yeah, anyway, so what I decided to do is, because we're doing this, and it's absolute carnage, isn't it? There are so many different things. I thought if I tip it out, and I'll try and avoid lobbing, because I know that that's upsetting people, but what can I do? I'm short. I've got short little arms, and it's a huge table. But what I thought I'd do is I'm going to try and do this, because actually, I know some of you are like, oh, she's not doing it very well. Some of you are missing this. See, immediately found some words. So that's what I'm going to do, and I've done it. And I know that fiancée Zoe messaged me and said, don't you dare tip the casserole dish out. It sort of overwhelmed me, a bit like if you'd heard the episode when I was at Scottish Opera, I threw the cups on stage. It overwhelmed me when she said, please don't do it. And not because I want to upset fiancée Zoe on any level, but it's just that little naughty streak in me, because I'm such a good girl on every other thing, she says. Right, okay, so let's catch up with my notes, because since the last episode, a lot of emails have come in, a lot of conversations have happened. Yeah, okay, so we have a new Australian listening. Very big in Australia. Well, I say very big. 8. In Australia. So, look, I'm putting all the windows over here, okay? Windowy look. And yellowy bits, which I think go in the top left, yellowy bits. Right, so we've got a new Australian. She's a friend of Darren. No fringe. And so she's called Arghee. And g'day, Arghee. Here comes Bethany. Hello. I've just tipped the casserole dish out.
Again.
Well, no, not again, loony, because I haven't done that yet, have I? Gosh, she's drunk, clearly. So Arghee, she is Australian. Great joke. Can't wait for your next one. So she's called Arghee, and she has got Hungarian Australian mix. What a crazy mix. Now, you'll be able to, if you are in Sydney, which I know Nathan is, and Andrew is, and the masturbators are. If you are around, you'll recognise Arghee because she wears national dress a lot, Hungarian national dress a lot. So Beth, what are you doing, Beth? Just staring at it?
I'm just looking.
So what we're doing is getting the windows, any window looks down here, see? Although I didn't have a plan 5 minutes ago, turns out I have now. And see these greens, any yellows, any little words you can get. Take some. There's enough to share. But look, see these windows, Beth, look.
Yeah.
They're quite pleasing, aren't they? God, to be fair though, look, there are actually windows everywhere.
There's windows everywhere.
But if we put them in one place.
Does that look like a window?
If you right, here we go. Bethy said, "Does that look like?"
No, the bottom bit.
Oh yeah, fair enough. That tiny bit. I thought she said that massive piece of greenery looks like a window. Okay, it's more green than window, but never mind. I was about to mock you, and then there was this one. I was about to. Yeah, fair enough. Anyway, so Arghee is Hungarian, and so I'm going to say to you, Hoggy Vaggy. That means how are you? Because I'm doing Duolingo, Hoggy Vaggy. And it's also, the Hungarian's got a little bit of an Australian hint on it there, Arghee. And also I say tia, which is hello. So if you do see, if you do see somebody in, it's quite ornate, the Hungarian outfit. It's a bit like Steve's outfit. A lot of embroidery, massive sleeves embroidered. There's smocking. I can't imagine inviting Arghee over for dinner where it involves soup or gravy, because I think her Hungarian wrists will be like sucking it up like a sponge. And they don't look like they're easy to roll up. But Steve, because he's got a lot of like Tyrolean outfits with the same sort of smocking, sort of embroidery look. I think you'd get on really, really well. Oh, Beth's gone. No, she's gone. What was that? A cake?
No, not yet. You've got 20 minutes left. I'm just putting a new thing on.
Oh, fine. Right, so I've got... good idea, because I've forgotten how long this is. Anyway, I've got a banana loaf in the oven for a friend's birthday. So welcome Arghee. And she's very good. So Nathan, I think you'd like her. Right. Who else? She also... now, this is quite interesting for Nathan, because she shops... Her favourite boutique is Suzanne. It's called Suzanne. That's where she goes shopping. So now maybe once this comes out of lockdown, maybe you and Arghee, Hungarian, after you've said to her, "Sia, hello," you could actually go to Suzanne together. Little bit of a shopping thing. So welcome. Yeah, her cuffs I've discussed. Yeah. I saw, we had a conversation with Wendy and Wayne, Darren, fringe, no fringe, parents. And I said, "Oh, Wendy, I like your top today." She said, "Thanks, Ju. It's a balloon design and it's fleecy." So it was very pleasing. It's a lot of balloons, different colours, very vibrant, and fleecy. So I said, I think everybody at JigJaw would like to know that, and I can actually imagine you're all thrilled knowing that. Oh, is that? Have I just put, no, it's just purple. They happen to be purple. How you getting on, Beth? Are you finding similar colours? And brickwork can all go in a pile. You see, fiancée Zoe was sort of going to be a bit upset by this, but turns out, actually I'm quite pleased with it. But actually I don't think she's probably watching now anyway, because this makes her feel nauseous. Now, I was talking to Darren yesterday by virtue of speaking to his parents, and he's obviously listening every night, and he cracks out a tinny and puts it on. So he was saying, quite a lot of words actually. I'm going to do a words section here. I can pop the words in when we find them. What was that?
A word.
Oh, lob that. Don't careful with the lobbing, because I got into trouble with that with right.
Well, I don't want to get my face in. That's why I'm.
No, I know this is the massive dilemma, Beth, because we have to lean but not show our faces or even the top of our noses.
No,
anyway, I was talking to Darren.
In the previous video, you showed your face.
That cannot happen again. Anyway, so Darren said that he was listening avidly, not adamantly, and he was really fascinated by the masturbating situation in Nathan's apartments. Anyway, he said that's really amazing because he's had the same situation. So it must be an Australian thing, a bit like your really rabid magpies, because maybe that's where everybody goes down there to be seen doing it. So he said he's got in his unit, because he also lives in a unit, which really bizarre, I can't remember if I said it yesterday or whatever, but I find it interesting that the Australians say they live in units rather than houses or apartment numbers.
Does that bit go there, do you think?
hard to say, but it looks like it. Keep it there for the moment because it won't do any harm there. Because we've got time to work it out. Anyway, yeah, he calls it the unit, and we have apartment numbers, don't we, or flat numbers. Anyway, so he said that he in his bedroom he has vertical blinds that he tilts them. And anyway, he was going to bed one night and was just about to do his blinds, and there behind him, in the flat behind, was a guy sitting in a sort of leather chair, big leather chair, naked. He said, Jew, he was having a cracking time. Anyway, so he twisted his blinds around. Darren seemed more upset that the guy didn't turn the blackout blinds around. He said he's got blackout blinds, Jew, and he didn't use them. He didn't pull them down. He should have. That was the crux of the, what Darren was really bothered about was that the guy had the facility to turn the blinds down, but didn't. Anyway, so he, next night, same thing. Next night, happened for weeks apparently. Darren was just quickly turning it around. He wasn't like Nathan and Andrew, and watching a lot. He was a bit like, the bloody hell. Oh, look.
Is that a window?
Right, here we go. That goes over there, doesn't it, by that flower? Is that a window? No. Anyway, so this went on for weeks. The guy was just sitting there naked in a big leather chair. And then one night, Dan was going to bed. The guy had gone. The whole apartment was empty. So maybe, actually, Darren, it's just occurred to me as I say this to you, maybe he moved to, maybe he has moved to where Nathan and Andrew are. Maybe it's the same guy, just moving around town. But it's it sounds like common practice down there. And lockdown seems to have brought out the worst of it. Right, I've got a little bit of brickwork here. Just gonna. It's sort of different brickwork there, Beth. I need a sort of pile like that. Right. See, this I'm not so bothered about this tipping it out, although it made me laugh. Well done, good goil. So I now have 50 subscribers. So I'm not spreading as quickly as coronavirus, and I'm not going as viral as I was in the 80s. But 50 in 17 days is better than the kick in the bits and bobs. Thanks, Beth. Right, I've got some emails. So, slurping my tea, which is much better today. Scott from Scotland. Have a look. It's a bit. I've left the bag in and I've stirred it.
I made that actually.
You did make that, and it's much better. Right. So, the first email actually was from Nathan. Where is it? Okay. Dearest Jew, as always, thank you so much for all the joy you bring with JigJaw. Pleasing. He said, it's truly my favourite part of the day. Well, we know that isn't strictly true, don't we? Based on you having your own shop and, bless you, having your own shop and the guy at the back. However, I'll take it. Right, that's enough. One more and you're out. You means you're riddled with something. He said, apparently, Terry is awaiting the DVD being released. I think so, and I think once we do the making of like the Commodore or Carshalton Beeches suggested, which that tickles me so much, and if any of you want to come and be a guest, you will see how this is made, and yeah, the shock will be more than what you're watching. Let me tell you. Anyway, so yeah, the DVD highlights. I think and like you say, the bloopers, Beth. Bloopers will be excellent.
Well, this is like one big blooper, isn't it?
You are correct. This is like a giant blooper. Now, yes.
So where should I put this? Should I put it with the letters?
Oh, see, that is
a number.
That's a number and a window. There. Gone bold. Try not to lean too much, Beth, because any minute now. I think I'm going to have to move the camera a bit because we're about to sit. I'm going to move round. I'm worried for I don't want to have to start hiring security, Beth. Right, okay. Let me see if that's better on the camera. Oh, you've moved into here?
Yeah, that's
tricky.
better.
Let's get back there then.
Oh, okay.
Thanks. Okay, yeah.
I was just saving your space.
Saving my space in the two of us together was such a nut. Right, okay. Anyway, thanks. So, here goes Nathan. I'm going to do it in Australian, so everybody in the Antipodes understands. I thought it best to send you some updates regarding the serial masturbator. Well, that's good because we're talking about that thing right now. I have to say that Andrew spends more time looking out the kitchen window than he does sleeping. Bloody hell. He's obsessed. He came to me very distressed this afternoon. I imagine this is Andrew, not the guy in the flats. The masturbator has closed his blind. Well, that is hilarious. And Nathan says, I think I can tell you why. It's probably due to the simple fact you are literally staring at him while he's choosing to entertain himself. I honestly, Jew, haven't seen Andrew this distressed in a while. Though most days I'm waiting for the police to knock on our door to complain about the peeping Toms. Well, I don't think it's just you. I think, to be fair, you're not really a peeping Tom. You just happen to be in your apartment, right? And there's a guy who has a window and he has put the light on and opened all the blinds. He obviously has blinds because he's shown it now by shutting the blinds. So, nothing's going to happen to you, babe. I think the guy, it is brilliant though that actually you're in your apartment together and mainly Andrew now has to prop himself up at a window. He said he has some questions, so that issue I think you'd be safe, but I think we need to actually speak to Andrew, and I think he might be the first guest. I have some questions that I would love to be shared with your wider JigJaw audience. How did Ian end up with the name Sven? Well, I will get, when lockdown's finished, Svenny, Inga Svensson, the landlady of Hove, actually. It's very Nordic. It involves antlers and horns, and it involves it involves him having to wear something made of. He had to basically, a bit like Hillary when she wrestles moose and elks and bears. Svenny had to wrestle similar sort of creatures, and he's got a skirt made of animal stuff, and it's quite complicated. So what I might do is, because it's very Nordic and it's very tribal, I'll get him to explain it himself because it is complicated. There's a flower there, and these purple bits are pleasing, aren't they? Let's get those over here. Oh no, I think it stopped bloody recording. Right, so the camera stopped, basically, hilariously, just to make this more difficult because I've got a banana cake in. It stopped, so I don't know really where I was when I was chatting away. So a great episode this is going to turn out to be. Anyway, I'm going to move on to Nathan's second question, in case you heard the first one. I don't know yet, till I get in my lounge. Could you please share the story that you told Sam during the Athens? No, it wasn't that one. It was in Italy, the one where she was supposedly going to be interviewed by the BBC. Right. So this is a dear friend of mine, Sam. It was her birthday. We were out on a job, and I was going to arrange for the entire teams from all the different departments to come down onto the field to play, and to have a photograph taken for her birthday, right? So I arranged for everybody at 1 o'clock to be downstairs at the field of play, and we'd have a quick picture, and then everybody would run off. And Sam would be none the wiser, and we would go back to our jobs. And then on her birthday, she'd see the result. Anyway, so because I was working with her so closely, I had to fashion a way to get her out of my life for like 10 minutes because I was her deputy, and we lived together out there and worked together 24 hours a day and went to every meeting together, lunch, the whole lot, right? Never apart. So me saying I've got to go off somewhere would have made her go, well, why? Where are you going? So what are you doing then? Why are you going without me? So what I said was, it was terrible. I spoke to the press team. And I said, look, could you pretend to take Sam to a meeting? Can you just say the BBC are here and want to interview her about her job? Right. So they said, yeah, we're really busy though, so we've only got this tiny window. I said, that's fine, because we have as well. Anyway, so I said, oh, it's amazing. Hang on, I've got to have a slurp of my tea because of that technical incident. I said, right, the BBC want to interview. She welled up. She got really emotional. I said, oh my God, how amazing. My mum's going to be absolutely over the moon. She rang her mum, everything. Anyway, so I said, but it's really quick. They haven't got loads of time. So could you start getting ready? Anyway, so she started doing her hair. She's got some makeup. She had her lunch really slowly. She said, no, if they want to interview me, they can wait. When I'm ready, I'll be ready like this. And all I could see behind me were all of these people gathering from all these different departments, because they were told to be down at 1 o'clock, and they absolutely duly were. Everybody gathering behind me. Anyway, she was putting her lipstick on. She was doing her hair almost like hair by hair. So slowly. And the press team were coming to me going, we've really got to hurry up because we've got to go and do genuine interviews. I went, no. Anyway, so eventually she deigned to go with them, and she walked off, and we all ran down, had a photograph taken, got loads of props out. It was funny, and then we all ran back to our positions. Anyway, she came back, and like I say, it's been the first time I'd not seen her for weeks, for 10 minutes. Anyway, so she came back and she looked really, really forlorn, heartbroken. And I said, oh, how'd it go? How'd it go? She went, they couldn't do it in the end. And she sat down and she was really quiet, and it was really, really hideous, because A, I knew it was never going to happen in the first place. B, I had made that story up, and I obviously didn't really expect the level of. Her mum then rang all her aunties, extended family had been phoned, the whole thing. It's going to be on the BBC, Mum, about my job. Oh my God. So anyway, so I had to sort of live with this because it was a few weeks, so I get the photograph printed and framed up, and then it was her birthday. So on her actual birthday, obviously I showed the picture, and then I started laughing about the story, and fortunately she took it really well. But it was completely awful the rest of that day, because basically she was absolutely heartbroken that the BBC couldn't fulfil. So so thanks. Thanks for reminding me of that, Nathan. I totally forgot about that, and might have to be counselling. Once the puzzle is completed, will it be going on a national tour of the UK? Right. Well, I don't think the UK will be the first place. I think it'll be Australia, mainly because Australians are giving me so much material just by dint of being Australian. And I think what we'll do is we will put this on a board eventually, probably glaze it, and I think it will do that. I think it will definitely go around. Well, definitely to Croydon, and possibly to Carshalton, Carshalton Beeches, and South London. If the Scots want it, we'll take it up. But it's a very good idea. I could do a tour. Right, on other emails. See, I've had to print them out, but then I've now got them all muddled up. Hold on. Right.
You've got 26 seconds left of your cake.
Did you go and check it?
Okay.
Can you go and check it? Nice one. Okay, this is from the Commodore of Carshalton Beeches. Dearest darling Julia, politeness there, la la la. Right. In a couple of your previous episodes, you said that your recent self-inflicted haircut makes you look like a boy. Personally, I must say that it's truly brilliant being a bloke. Oh no, I've read this one. That's one I've read out before. I'm sorry. I think it's this one. Because the Commodore, I should. What I'm not doing is throwing away, is it? I'm not. As you can imagine, I'm not quite. I'm basically coming out here into a shed, cracking out half an hour, whizzing back, and leaving detritus. Just why not? There's so much other crap in the shed. Anyway, I will do the right one now. I had two from Commodore. Dearest darling Julia, I have a couple of quick questions. Your recent attempt at baking a Battenberg cake in episode 10 was absolutely disastrous. You utterly humiliated yourself. I know someone who unbelievably has a slice of Battenberg cake tattooed on his forearm. If you had a tattoo, what would you choose and where would it be located? Right, it'd be your face on my back. Because every time I took my top off on the beach with my bikini, I'd like your face on it. So that's easy. And I do laugh because one of our mates, ex-policeman, lovely bloke, known him pretty much all my life, right? He went to New Zealand with the rugby, okay, and as a joke, I said to him, "Don't come back with like an indigenous Maori tattoo," as a joke, and sadly it was too late. He'd already done it when he messaged me because he sent me a picture, and I thought it was a joke. So I said, "Oh no, don't be ridiculous." Anyway, he has done it. And I laughed and I said, but why do middle-aged men go down there, right? Why do they go and then come back with a Maori saying, right? I mean, it's beautiful, don't get me wrong. But it could say Codswallop, it could say any old load of rubbish. But he's not indigenous to New Zealand. He's Essex. He's not indigenous. Why would you have a Maori? Like, you've been there once on holiday, lovely, right? It's like me going to Spain and having Viva la España written on my face or something. Like, why would you having it and full sleeves, full Maori sleeves? I mean, they're beautiful. Must have cost bloody hundreds. But he's got that for the rest of his life, and the kids go, "Daddy, what does that say?" And it says, "Oh, it means, whatever, something in Maori." Probably says Miffy, actually, doesn't it? And we all know what Miffy means. If you listen properly, you know what Miffy means in Maori. Anyway, so who knows? I just laugh about that with tattoos. It makes me laugh because indigenous sleeves are very popular. So yeah, I'd have your face, Commodore, on my back. Okay, next part of this. The lockdown in England has officially been eased. We now have unlimited outdoor exercise and no limits on distances travelled by car. With that in mind, would you like to go dogging with me in Poundwood Nature Reserve? That's near me. I know that you have 2 whippets and I can easily borrow a friend's golden retriever. Sorry, I meant to say dog walking with me. Damn predictive text. Right, you're very naughty, Commodore. But I like you. Right, the next one, because he was obviously on fire. And I think if anybody knows the Commodore, I don't doubt that what he meant was true, but not necessarily with me. I think he just wants someone to go with. Bit like me being taken to that spa in Kentish Town High Road to get in half price with Mark from Lewis. It's that same situation. Will you come dogging with me? Pretending that it's all about me, and that Matt wouldn't mind it as long as he's watching YouTube and either watching someone do some carpentry joinery or watching those 2 beautiful people sail around Greece. He wouldn't mind where I go, I don't think. Yes. So I literally forgot what I was going to say. And never mind. Okay, so here goes. So, Commodore, dearest darling Julia, it's like a catchphrase, isn't it? I have a quick question. I recently had a Zoom call with Philippa from Sussex. Oh, yes? Hi, Philippa. Watch out there, babes. She is a gorgeous and very bright girl. Yes, she is. However, she does have some very ludicrous ideas at times, and here are 3 examples. Oh, Philippa. Right. A. When we were working in Russia together, she befriended what she believed to be a stray dog. She wanted to bring it back to London and even convinced you to adopt it. Yes, she did. Didn't take much convincing. It was sweet. It was about that big, gorgeous. She christened him Johnny Putin and kept him in her hotel room. Yes, and Johnny Putin, the name was going to remain. Yes, it was. After 3 days, he escaped and ran back to his owner. Right, now 2 things come up with there. A, he didn't have an owner, did he? Right, because he was running around parts of Russia on his own. No collar. No, right? Okay. So let's just get that straight. He didn't run back to his owner, as romantic as that sounds. And also, he didn't escape, did he? Because the dog was this big and about that tall. So, as if he opened the door in an apartment block and sort of escaped. Should we cut that nonsense right now? Anyway, I'll carry on. Because, I was upset about Johnny Putin because I'd fallen in love with it. B, number 2, sorry. While watching Free Willy, Philippa decided she wanted to rescue a killer whale from the Russian equivalent of SeaWorld and ship it back to England. Philippa asked me if I would house it in my fish tank until it could be safely released into the ocean. I had to veto her suggestion owing to prohibitive food and maintaining costs. Right. 3. I sent Philippa a link to your series and explained to her in no uncertain terms how I believed that you have ruined the internet. Despite what I said, after viewing a few of your episodes, she really enjoyed your broadcasts. Philippa is now fully committed and absolutely adamant that she'll become your 50th subscriber. Well, I think she might be the 51st if I get 51, because Colin from Scotland became the 50th overnight. And so yes, I mean, 50, 17 days. I mean, it's not brilliant, is it? Never mind, who cares? So the Commodore goes on, which of these 3 ideas do you think is her most stupid? Please don't read this out. Oh, please don't read this out because she'll be watching. Thanks. Right, okay. So, a few things arising there. Either I've just, if you were wooing Philippa, Commodore, and you wrote that, and there's a little cheeky edge bit. Edge bit. Goes over here. I'm going away from the mic for a bit. Look, pleasing. There we go. This is going to be fine. If I've just ruined your wooing, I apologise, but I don't really, because I think you're being a bit naughty there. I think the only thing about that entire thing, I mean, all of Philippa's ideas are excellent, particularly the third one. But I think you were a bit of a buffoon there, because there's no way that she wrote, "Could you keep a killer whale in my fish tank?" So I think you let your poetic license go a bit silly then, and you should have said your pool, because everybody knows you've got a massive pool, and everybody knows that you live in a great big mansion in Carshalton Beeches. So I think what you did there would blow it. But listen, I'm going to go now because I've got a lot more to say, right, and I'm going to do it in the next episode, because this one's messed up a little bit. Not because of the jigsaw, but because of the technical errors. So I'm going to sort that right out. And but know that I love you. Look after the ones you love, because life is very short, and you've got to live every day like you love it. And I love you. So I'll speak to you in episode 18. Keep the love. Bye.